Monday Night Raw is in San Diego, California tonight. And before I get to the show, I wanted to talk about some other things going on in the WWE right now. The first of which is WWE recently aired the UK special on the network earlier today. I watched some of it. I saw some matches. The Undisputed Era had a great match with Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate and another British wrestler. Really good match. You had the finals of the tournament, and then you also had a women's match. You had Toni Storm wrestling and winning. Love Toni Storm. Huge fan of hers. Love to see her on the main roster. To me, my two favorite female wrestlers like to watch, I think are going to be big stars, are Toni Storm, who isn't necessarily signed with WWE yet. She's with the UK, but I don't think she's actually in NXT. But I think she's so young, they're going to sign her. She'll be a big star, I think. I hope they don't mess her up on the main roster. And the other one I'm a big fan of is in NXT, Bianca Belair. I think she's going to be a big star. So, just to talk about some other stuff. There's been some stuff with Alexa Bliss that's gone down this week. I'm not so sure, like, if the stuff with her and Nia Jax is real. I'll talk about that when we get to that later on the show. But there's also some stuff with Brock Lesnar, some controversies. I'm not so sure what it is. Him and Paul Heyman, I don't know if it's a work, but there seems to be some stuff with this contract. I don't know. I wish they'd just release him at this point. But how the show started off was Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin. What happens is Roman Reigns comes out, and then Bobby Lashley later comes out. When Reigns and Lashley go back and forth, Reigns wants a title shot. Kurt Angle canceled the match because they're settling out Brock's contract. I'm not so sure like what they're doing, but Reigns and Lashley are going back and forth, and they want a match at Extreme Rules. Fans hate Reigns. And eventually, Kurt says that they can have a match at Extreme Rules, and he's going to take under adverts or whatever that means. But what he wants to do is, like, he makes a tag match with Revival since the Revival come out. And so we have Lashley and Reigns against the Revival. So I'm thinking to myself, for sure, Lashley and Reigns are winning, but the Revival gets the win. Scott Dawson takes a spear from Roman Reigns at the end of the match, but then he wasn't the legal man, and Dash Wilder ended up pinning Roman Reigns and getting the pinfall. So the Revival gets a win. The Revival have been on the main roster for a year and 2 months, 14 months since they debuted in it after last year's WrestleMania, and they had a lot of things go against them, but not all their fault. But they had injuries. First thing that happened, I think, like 6 or 2 weeks into their run, I think Dash Wilder gets injured, and I think they both are off for about 2 months. And I think right after that, Scott Dawson's injured, and they both go off. So then, they don't return until November, and then by that time, there's a lot going on. The Rumble season, then WrestleMania season, they get completely lost in the shuffle, lose almost all their matches. They have nothing to do, and they just get kind of buried and lost in the shuffle because of their injuries. I mean, it's never good to have injuries, but then they finally get a big win. I think Triple H is behind this. After the match, they have strong words, and they both get heat, like they're getting heat on each other. I think Roman Reigns insulted Bobby Lashley's MMA career. I'm not sure if he did this in this segment, but I think he was saying he was a failure. He was 15-2 as an MMA fighter. It's pretty damn good. His record's better than Brock's. So Brock Lesnar was in the UFC fighting, top heavyweights. Bobby Lashley mostly fought tomato cancer. He's nowhere near the fighter Brock is. I think if they would fight in MMA, Brock would crush him. But still, 15-2, that's pretty damn good. Like, he had a good career. Not a draw, but it's like, whatever. Roman Reigns has never been in a fucking MMA fight in his life. You get fucking slaughtered. I was surprised if Roman Reigns is one of the guys who makes fun of CM Punk. He's probably one of those guys making fun of CM Punk. Oh, he got his ass kicked. If Roman Reigns fight, fucking get destroyed. I hate that motherfucker. Fuck Roman Reigns. Hope Lashley kicks his ass. I like Lashley. I'm supporting him. I hope he does well. I mean, they haven't booked him now. They've had that horrible feud with Sami Zayn, but hopefully they can start with something with him. Curtis Axel and Will Ospreay and Titantron, and I'm not into this feud. Anything with Matt and Bray, just Bray Wyatt. He's the thing. He just bores me, and the Matt Hardy gimmick is what it is. So Curtis Axel pinned Matt Hardy, and after the match they have a feud. So I guess you're gonna get that at Extreme Rules. So Sasha Banks was backstage with Kurt Angle, and they're going back and forth, and she's upset. Like, she doesn't want to team up with Bayley, but she's gonna That's fine. I guess they're going to continue this rivalry. I don't know when they're having their match. Is it Extreme Rules or SummerSlam? Because I think they can probably get a spot at SummerSlam because I think that show's longer than Extreme Rules. Or I don't know. Maybe all the shows are 4 hours, so they should at least get a spot on one of those two shows. They're building it up maybe to Extreme Rules. I would hold it off to SummerSlam because there's history with Bayley and Sasha at SummerSlam in Brooklyn, but maybe they do it at Extreme Rules. I don't know. So it was awkward. So we see they show Akam and Razor, the authors of Pain. So we get to see the Revival and the authors of Pain on the show. You're kidding me. Titus O'Neil's with Dana Brooke and Apollo Crews, and they have some backstage stuff with those two. I guess that's the match. So I see Bayley hugging Alicia Fox backstage. I'm thinking to myself, really? I mean, Alicia Fox is a heel. Why are they even doing that? Alicia's been a heel her whole run. And then Kurt says you have to team up with Sasha to go and along with Ember Moon, who's doing nothing, by the way, to against the Riot Squad. Yeah, okay. So he had Authors of Pain destroy some jobbers, and then Titus O'Neil comes out, and I guess they're gonna do something with that's gonna be a program. It's the jobber match for the authors. Corbin and Angle are backstage. Finn Balor says he's pissed off his match is canceled. Strowman's making fun of him. Strowman suggests a match. It's nothing there. So Alexa Bliss comes up with Mickie James. So Mickie introduces Alexa, and she's playing the whole thing with Ronda Rousey, and that's going to be their big program at SummerSlam. One thing I've been I thought about, I actually heard this from Jason Solomon, Solomon Monsters podcast last night. He made a great thing. Alexa Bliss is double jointed with her arm, so when Ronda snaps her arm in half, it's going to be a really cool visual. She won't actually do it, just it's going to look really cool. It's going to be like Rousey breaks opponent's arms. That they're definitely going to do that. So they're talking about Ronda, then they talk about Nia Jax. Natalya comes out, and so Natalya says she didn't come alone, and she challenges Alexa, and it's Alexa and Natalya. So I want to Natalya actually beat Alexa Bliss. Before I get to that, I want to talk about this whole Nia Jax Alexa Bliss stuff. There's rumors that Alexa Bliss has a lot of heat backstage with some of the other girls. There's rumors of Nia Jax. I tweeted this out. She liked an Instagram post that suggested Alexa Bliss is sleeping her way with WWE officials, sleeping her way to the top, basically. She also mocked Alexa Bliss's tattoo on her, which I didn't think was a big deal, but I guess it was to some people because I guess that has to do a lot with her anorexia that she overcame when she almost died from it. The whole I am enough tattoo, I think that has to do something with it. I didn't really think much of it. I guess it is a big deal because I think he had Alexa Bliss's friends or some family members going after Nia on Twitter. So I don't think they're smart enough to hype up their good rivalry on Twitter. That's what I think. I don't think they can do it. So I don't, because they fucking wonder why would they do it now? This is a nothing match, just a tune-up match for Alexa Bliss and Ronda Rousey. Why wouldn't they do it at WrestleMania season? So I think this is real. If they were smart, they'd do this at WrestleMania season. During WrestleMania, they're sitting together at their press conference beside each other when they're supposed to having a match at WrestleMania. That's what these fucking two do. They're not fucking smart enough to hype up a match on social media. They don't know. They can't even keep kayfabe. So I think there's legitimate heat between the two of them. I think it's pretty serious. So I actually didn't I said some stuff about Alexa, but I don't know. I really didn't. That bothered me seeing Nia do that to her on social media. But Natalya beat Alexa Bliss, so yeah, Alexa's a joke champion. I've said that a million times. She's 4'10". Natalya wins. Maybe it's Natalya and Ronda in the September pay-per-view. Seth Rollins doing an interview about Dolph Ziggler. Don't really care. They do some stupid shit with the Riot Squad and Jinder Mahal. I don't know. Okay, so you have Sasha, Bayley, and Ember against the Riot Squad. So how this happens is this sets up Bayley and Sasha. The match wasn't very long, but Liv Morgan pinned Sasha Banks again. So after the match, Liv Morgan actually pinned Sasha Banks 2 weeks in a row. After a match, Bayley attacks Sasha. She beats her ass, knees her in the corner. She hits her with forearm. She is beating the living fuck out of Sasha Banks. Throws her into the turnbuckle, destroys her in the steps, and grabs her by the fucking throat and says, "You're nothing." She said, "You ain't shit" to Sasha. That was crazy. This is for 3 years, and you're being a bitch to me, and all that stuff. Because it's true, and it's like, announcers have been acknowledging Sasha has been a complete bitch to Bayley, but now Bayley's the heel, and people want WWE is going to want you to cheer for Sasha. Bayley's heel. Now, I'm assuming next week they might be best friends again. That's a possibility. But they've done so much damage. But this was a really good angle. They've done so much damage to this feud. They've been doing this for a year and a half. Ever since Sasha got injured with her knee in that match with Charlotte like a year and a half ago. God, that was ages ago. That felt so long ago. It's like 2 years almost. They've been teasing tension with her and Bayley. And it's been like a year and a half. And they're finally going to do it. It's on. So I don't know when they're having their match. But I don't think there's no going back from this. Kurt's talking to a referee, so he wants to talk with Bayley. He's pissed off. Kevin Owens comes out into the locker room and is mad, and I don't know what they're doing with this Owens and Braun stuff. It's terrible. So then Mojo Rawley wants a match with Noe Jose, and Mojo, I don't know. He punches Jose to the floor, which is good. So here's a good stuff. Bayley and Kurt Angle. Bayley's backstage, and Kurt's pissed off at her, so she has to have mandatory counseling next week, or else she's fired. And it's like Bayley was showing concern for Sasha, and Sasha's in the trainer's room. So I don't know if they're actually going to do that feud and do a match, or I hope it's not Dr. Shelby, because I'm afraid it's Dr. Shelby, and the two of them are going to be reunited as a tag team like Team Hell No. That's what I think they're going to do. I think they're actually going to do the Dr. Shelby thing, and the two of them become best friends again. So Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens were against Finn Balor and Baron Corbin. They actually booked this match. Strowman and Owens wins by countout. I don't like this whole stuff with Strowman and Balor being friends. How many fucking times are they going to be in Kurt Angle's office? This fucking show's driving me nuts. It's fucking terrible. So Owens is pissed off. He's leaving. He wants to know why he has to leave. So the segment was actually kind of cool. It ends with Braun Strowman, he basically tipped over Kevin Owens' car, and Owens finds his car tipped over, and that was actually really cool how they did that. So Strowman tips under car over. That was fine. So main event, Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler for Intercontinental title. So long match. I don't really care much to see these two. Anything with Ziggler. I wish Ziggler would leave. I hope he's just holding the Intercontinental title so he can lose it to McIntyre. So I want Ziggler to leave the company. I don't want to see him anymore. He has to go away heat with me. But Rollins wins by DQ, then Drew attacks him, and Roman Reigns comes out, and I guess him and Rollins, he stands up for his friend, so I guess it's a tag match. I don't know, maybe next week on Raw. Hopefully not Extreme Rules, but I don't know. This whole Brock Lesnar stuff, it was fine. I like the woman here. I actually like I don't mind the Alexa Bliss stuff with Ronda, and actually the Bayley Sasha stuff. This has been the worst feud of the year, but that was actually a really damn good angle. So Bayley's officially heel. So that was definitely the highlight of Raw, was Bayley killing Sasha. So we'll see. We'll see what they do. Hopefully they don't. It's been dead feud. They've I don't want to say they revived it, but they definitely had a good week with that feud. So that was definitely the highlight of Raw. So Raw was not a nothing show, bad show. Didn't care much for it, but had some cool stuff on the show, even though the majority of it was just too long. Too many stuff with Kurt Angle in his office.